For 2,000 years, whispers traveled with the caravans, tales of a city so impossibly rich that its people burned precious frankincense just to light their streets. Imagine that extravagance. Then, in a single terrifying night, the desert dunes, those silent, shifting giants, simply swallowed it whole. Every towering wall, every life-giving well, every last echo of its name just vanished. They called it Ubar, the legendary Atlantis of the sands. And for centuries, every brave, or perhaps foolish, explorer who dared to seek it came back with nothing but sun-blind eyes, parched throats, and a crushing, half-buried disappointment. You'd think that would be the definitive end of the story, wouldn't you? But then, out of nowhere, a fax from a Cold War spy satellite landed on a desk and basically said, "Not so fast, folks. Not so fast at all." Now try to picture Oman's empty quarter a century ago. We're talking about a place where the sand dunes stood taller than cathedrals, a landscape utterly devoid of GPS, reliable water, or anything resembling mercy. It's a place that chews up the unprepared and spits them out. Yet, even in this brutal expanse, stories persisted. Bedouin elders, with their ancient wisdom and intimate knowledge of the sands, told British officer Bertram Thomas about an incredible secret. Somewhere out there, a paved road supposedly dipped underground, leading to a magnificent citadel boasting 1,000 pillars of red gold. Can you even imagine the allure? Thomas, captivated, spent 1929 crisscrossing those endless dunes on camelback, his hopes likely soaring. What did he find? Only endless wind-carved limestone and the unsettling, creeping suspicion that the desert itself was just laughing at his efforts. But the tale, you see, had legs. It wouldn't just lie down and die. Even the legendary T.E. Lawrence, no stranger to desert mysteries, dismissed Ubar as the mother of all cheating mirages. Yet, it endured. Even the Quran, in its ancient verses, alludes to a people destroyed when the earth collapsed beneath their wickedness. Powerful imagery that medieval geographers were all too happy to pin on this tantalizingly missing city. But what really kept the legend alive for so long, beyond religion or poetic fancy? It was pure, unadulterated economics. Think about it. The frankincense route, that ancient superhighway of scent and wealth, once connected the empires of Egypt to the distant markets of India. It was a trade artery that had to traverse 500 miles of what could only be described as hell on earth. If a reliable watering hole, a true oasis of sustenance, sat out there, whoever controlled it would effectively control the very scent of every temple, from the grandest in Rome to the most serene in Kyoto. A city built on such a lucrative monopoly would, without a doubt, drip with gold, and naturally, with enemies. The legends whispered that Ubar's residents partied a little too hard, ignored the ominous signs, and then, one fateful dawn, the delicate limestone caverns supporting their opulent city simply gave way. An entire metropolis gone in an instant. A sinkhole turned, quite literally, into a sink city. And so, for 2 millennia, generation after generation of treasure hunters kept repeating the same expensive, heartbreaking mistake. Let's fast forward a bit, shall we? The year is 1981. A brilliant young NASA radar specialist named Ron Blum is poring over shuttle images, not specifically looking for lost cities, but rather calibrating his equipment over the vast stretches of the Sahara. It's one of those serendipitous moments, isn't it? Suddenly, a faint, almost ghostly pink ring emerges on the Arabian side of the strait. It's not just any mark, it's a pattern consistent with ancient caravanserai tracks, those dusty highways of old. What's more, it has the exact diameter a massive defensive wall would create if it encircled a central well. Could this be it? The problem, though, was frustratingly simple. Shuttle resolution back then was a whopping 30 meters per pixel. For archaeology, you don't just need meters, you need centimeters. So the tantalizing trail, for a while, went cold. Then came 1990, a game changer. Defense Department satellites, once cloaked in Cold War secrecy, were finally declassified. And just like that, archaeologists got their hands on something truly revolutionary. Crisp, 1-meter black and white shots capable of picking out the shadow of even a tiny broken pottery sherd. Imagine the excitement. One particular frame was especially revealing. It showed a distinct keyhole-shaped depression at a place called Sheryl in Oman. Crucially, before and after shots of the area unveiled a dramatic 60-meter collapse. This wasn't just natural erosion. This was unmistakably a roof falling in, a massive structural failure. And here's where it gets even wilder. Around the very same time, a British exploration team, spearheaded by Nicholas Clapp, was busy translating an ancient 1498 Egyptian map known as the Kitab al-Kanuz, or Book of Hidden Pearls. This isn't just any old map. It's a marvel of medieval navigation, listing latitudes determined by star altitude, essentially a 15th century GPS. And guess what? The coordinates it meticulously detailed pointed directly to that very same newly discovered depression. It was as if myth and modern technology just high-fived across 5 centuries. The universe, it seemed, was finally ready to give up Ubar's secret. Now, getting permission to actually dig in Oman? That's about as easy as asking to prospect for oil in someone's palace garden. It required immense diplomatic skill and persistence. But Clapp, undeterred, found a crucial partner in Dr. Juris Zarins, a brilliant geologist who had spent years tirelessly surveying Saudi Arabia for prehistoric waterways. This wasn't just about finding a city. It was about understanding the very landscape that had swallowed it. Together, they began to piece together a truly brutal timeline for Ubar's rise and fall. Around 300 BC, it was a booming, vibrant trade hub. By 100 AD, Roman demand for that precious frankincense had peaked, bringing immense wealth, but also immense pressure. Then, around 300 AD, the city's underground aquifer was catastrophically overpumped, weakening the very ground beneath them. And finally, by 500 AD, the inevitable, the sinkhole. If their theory held, this meant the city wasn't obliterated by some wrathful divine fire, as the legends claimed. Instead, it was brought down by a more insidious, geological fate. It collapsed when its last hidden water chamber caved in, dragging entire trade routes and an empire of wealth down with it. It's a stark, humbling thought, isn't it? The local Bedouin, those true masters of the desert, agreed to guide the team to what they knew as the fort with the bird-shaped well. But they had one non-negotiable condition: absolutely no bulldozers, only hand trowels, and of course, plenty of tea breaks. They understood the desert's delicate balance and the sanctity of its secrets far better than any outsider. And what a reward that respect brought. Within days, the crew, working meticulously with their trowels, uncovered something truly astonishing. A massive limestone fortification wall, an incredible 13 feet thick, complete with a clearly gated entry. They also found frankincense burners, not small personal ones, but enormous vessels, literally the size of bathtubs, undeniable proof of the city's immense wealth and its central role in the incense trade. The carbon dating of date palm fronds embedded in the plaster then sealed the deal. 250 AD, give or take 30 years. For the first time since the Roman Empire began its long decline, the fabled Atlantis of the sands finally had a concrete address. It wasn't just a myth anymore, it was a place on the map. But let's be clear, Ubar isn't exactly giving up its secrets like some polite museum exhibit. Far from it. The catastrophic sinkhole swallowed and destroyed fully half the settlement, and what little remained above ground, well, looters unfortunately took the rest over the centuries. Still, the fragments and insights that have been recovered are nothing short of revolutionary, completely rewriting what we thought we knew about the ancient incense trade. Historians had long assumed that the primary trade route for frankincense went north, through the famed city of Petra, and then west towards the Mediterranean. A neat, tidy theory. But the pottery shards unearthed at Shizr tell a vastly different, far more complex story. We're talking 60% Indian, 20% Egyptian, and 10% Roman glass. What does that tell us? It means ships, laden with exotic goods, were sailing all the way from places like Kerala in India, docking at Arabian Gulf ports. From there, camels, those incredible ships of the desert, would haul spices and precious cargo a grueling 500 miles inland, deep into the empty quarter, where they'd be reloaded at Ubar. From Ubar, the caravans then cut a direct path due west, straight to the Mediterranean coast, bypassing Petra's notorious tacksmen entirely. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it, why Petra's fortunes would decline precisely as Ubar's began to flourish. The economics were undeniable. And talk about ingenuity. The city's engineers, brilliant in their own right, even carved intricate channels their massive walls. Why? so the telltale plumes of frankincense smoke could escape without giving away the precise layout of their fortress to any would-be raiders. Smart, incredibly rich, and yet, tragically, they were apparently doomed by their very own success. The more water they drew from the life-giving yet fragile underground aquifers, the faster those supporting limestone caverns hollowed out. One final, lavish banquet, perhaps, one last echo of revelry, and then absolute, profound silence. Today, if you were to visit the site, it looks like a somewhat lopsided crater, surrounded by a curious ring of stones that just feels too regular, too intentional to be purely natural. But don't for a second think archaeologists are done with Ubar. Oh no, not by a long shot. The story continues to evolve with every technological leap. Case in point, in 2021, a brilliant French team undertook a monumental task, reanalyzing a staggering 130,000 declassified spy images, this time utilizing advanced AI change detection algorithms. The results were astounding. They didn't just find one Ubar, they spotted 47 similar sinkholes scattered across Oman and Yemen. These weren't just random geological features, they were possible sister outposts, implying that Ubar itself might have been merely the magnificent capital of a much larger, previously unknown desert confederation. Imagine the scale of that ancient network, and the revelations keep coming. Ground-penetrating radar, another incredible tool, has shown that building foundations still stand remarkably intact, some as deep as 12 meters below the current sand level. The desert truly is a powerful preserver. While permission for new, extensive digs is still pending, remember that palace garden analogy? The pace of discovery hasn't slowed. Drones, equipped with sophisticated magnetometers, have already mapped a second, even larger wall, standing some 200 meters out from the known perimeter. If that wall is eventually excavated, it could potentially triple the known size of Ubar, and perhaps most excitingly, finally confirm that the ancient boast of 1,000 pillars wasn't just hyperbole, but a breathtaking reality. Meanwhile, the careful study of pottery typology offers another fascinating clue. It suggests that many residents, perhaps sensing the impending doom, actually evacuated before the final catastrophic collapse. Somewhere out there, hidden beneath the vast, indifferent sands, might lie a refugee camp, perhaps loaded with the very gold and treasures that Bertram Thomas spent his life searching for and never found. So cue the next generation of eager graduate students, polishing their trowels and dreaming of desert adventures. The hunt, you see, is far from over. It's funny, isn't it? Every generation, it seems, gets this nagging feeling that they're the last ones who will ever get to discover anything truly new. We think we've mapped it all, explored every nook and cranny. And then, boom, LiDAR technology pierces through dense jungle canopies to reveal an entire network of ancient Mayan highways, or sonar maps, a Stonehenge-like structure hidden beneath the cold waters of Lake Michigan. These aren't just isolated incidents, they're constant, thrilling reminders. Ubar's enduring appeal isn't fundamentally about the gold or even the adventure of the find. It's the profound, almost humbling, reminder that our planet still holds countless secrets, even from our most advanced satellites and sophisticated mapping tools. The Atlantis of the Sands, also beautifully, almost poetically, flips the moral we've come to expect from such ancient tales. The Quran, in its wisdom, speaks of a people justly punished for their arrogance and wickedness. Yet, what archaeology has painstakingly revealed is a story of a city punished not by divine fire, but by the relentless, indifferent forces of geology. Their true crime might not have been moral failing, but rather a tragic case of overzealous hydroengineering without a viable backup plan, a powerful resonant echo that every modern city facing a dwindling aquifer or grappling with the consequences of unsustainable growth absolutely should hear. In short, Ubar isn't just a lost city found. It's a mirror, perhaps with a bit of sand still clinging to its teeth, reflecting our own vulnerabilities back at us. It whispers of the desert's vastness, a place that still holds secrets like the legendary white city of Zerzura or the cultural treasures of Timbuktu, reminding us that there's always more to uncover, more to learn from the ancient sands. So, the very next time someone confidently insists that every single corner of Earth has been meticulously Google mapped, perfectly photographed, and thoroughly understood, just remind them of Ubar. Remind them that a humble fax from a Cold War spy satellite, combined with a 500-year-old star map and a massive sinkhole that literally nobody noticed until 1992, completely rewrote half a chapter of world trade history. It's a powerful testament to the unexpected. Ubar, you see, has been found, but its story is far, far from finished. Somewhere out there, deep under those silent, shifting dunes, a king and queen, if they ever truly existed, might still be sleeping, perhaps with palms pressed over their ears, waiting patiently for that one final explorer to call their name and truly, deeply mean it. Until that day, the empty quarter, that magnificent, unforgiving expanse, will continue to keep its deepest secrets. And if you listen closely, perhaps the wind will still carry a faint, ethereal scent of frankincense and a whisper of unfinished stories. If this journey through the sands and satellites has made you rethink what discovered truly means, then please hit that like button, drop your own Lost City leads or theories in the comments below, and definitely subscribe, because satellite data keeps declassifying, and who knows, the next fax from space might just have name on it.